This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of Phatts TV, sanctioned by PA Phatts and the non-genetically proven Sun. Any and all words have been authorized during the show. There is nothing off limits. Nobody is restricted from watching and participating in the show. It is a free-for-all. Commencing at the siren, any and all discussions will be legal for an extended period of time. Sports, politics, and any and all controversial topics will be talked about. You have been warned. May God be with us all.
Good evening, welcome to Phatts TV on this Tuesday night, July the 14th. I don't know if you noticed, we went with the black entrance today because we're not racist.
Racist.
We went black today.
Racist.
Because once you go black,
fascist.
Once you go black, never go back.
Fascist.
Yes, we're everything. We're everything. So how is everybody doing tonight? It was a beautiful day in southeastern Pennsylvania. What did you do while I was slaving away in the Phatts TV studios working at my actual job and then preparing for this show?
I went and played golf.
You went and played golf.
Real golf.
Real golf. How'd you do?
87.
87.
My goal was 90, as told by me by Kiana. She said I have to shoot 90.
Well, you didn't shoot 90.
Or under 90.
Yeah. So we got some birthdays today. I'd like to say happy birthday to my friends Diane. She's probably not watching the show. Happy birthday to my friend and your friend, Scott Schnurr Jr. He's probably not watching the show.
Have my doubts.
I'd like to say happy birthday to one of my best friends growing up, celebrating his 51st birthday today. I remember when he was just a little teenager. Now he's 51. Dan Boschman. You're not necessarily named after him, but you know, you guys get the same name. The joke is I named you after him and his son was born on my birthday. That's how the joke goes. Mm-hmm. And I hear we have somebody else who has a birthday today.
Who's that?
Celebrating her 20th birthday. She hails from the thriving metropolis of Okinawa down by Birdsboro.
You know, it'd be really funny if there wasn't Okinawa, like, town.
You say that every time I kind of say this. Kiana celebrating her 20th birthday. For my gift to you on your 20th birthday, you can knock $1 off those reparations you owe me.
She's probably not watching either. She's at the beach.
So what?
She's at the beach.
She got one of those phone things.
Yeah, she's in the water. So she's looked at her phone like every few hours.
What's more important? Watching the show is a lot more important than being in the water. Or she should have a waterproof phone. So she can watch the show and be in the water at the same time.
Apple phones are waterproof.
Well,
to a specific depth. Like 5 meters.
Then she should be watching the show. We're going to have to get her live now. I should make you call her.
She won't
I should
answer.
make you call her. So, speaking of playing golf today, you know, it got me thinking. In the months of like July and August,
golf should have went a lot better though.
What sports come to your mind? Golf.
Baseball.
Baseball. Yeah.
Soccer.
Yeah.
Football. Tennis.
Yeah.
Basically anything outside.
Got some good horse racing in August. You got the Travers. You got the Haskell. Those are $2 million races in August. You know what sport I think of in August? You haven't named it yet. There's a
shuffleboarding.
Yeah, no, it's not what I think.
Cricket.
Cricket? No. No, no.
Rugby.
I do not think of rugby in the month of August. No. No.
Chess.
I could get nasty, but no. No. No.
Checkers.
No. 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 You
Am I
give up?
close?
No. Not even close.
Is an outdoor sport.
Couple times a year.
That's not helpful.
I think of ice hockey.
I was about to say hockey.
In the month of August. That's right. The NHL playoffs begin August the 1st.
Pretty sure the NHL usually starts in October.
Who is going to be watching hockey in August?
Who's going to be watching the Champions League in August?
But we don't care about the Champions League.
Yeah, we do.
This is a segment about hockey.
The Capitals are going to win it all, whatever.
The first game is your New York Rangers.
Is it the exhibition games that are starting?
Against the Carolina Hurricanes. The first round are all best of 5s.
Hurricanes are really pretty good in the playoffs last few years, and the Rangers only made the playoffs because of COVID.
Yeah, but so did no, they didn't. No, they would have made it. Rangers are winning that series. I'm telling you right now.
Were you going to say Washington?
No, I wasn't.
They were winning that division.
Rangers are beating Carolina.
And then don't they get to face Washington?
I have no idea how if they're reseeding or if it's I have no idea.
It doesn't matter. They won't beat Washington.
I have no idea. No clue.
What happens if they face Philly? Uh-oh.
Speaking of Philly, I know a bunch of you people are going to cry when I'm about to say this. You Eagles fans, not going to be able to go watch a game this year at the Link. That's right. The city of Philadelphia said, They announced today, no public gatherings until the end of February 2021.
I will be moving to France, where they are allowing people in stadiums.
And they specifically mentioned the Eagles. No fans at Eagles home games. So if you want to go see the Eagles, get out their away schedule. Let's find their away schedule, and we'll see where you could go watch an Eagles game.
Why do I really care about the
Eagles?
Because
we want to make fun of Eagles. We don't like the Eagles, so we're going to make fun of them.
They're going to go 8-8 or whatever is normal. Eagles away schedule. I forget if they're on the top or the bottom. If they're away.
The top.
They're away on the top?
Yes.
Okay, they're away at the Washington. I don't know what to call them. They're away at Washington.
Yeah.
Home against the Jets.
No,
sorry. That's preseason.
Yeah.
Home against the Rams. Home against the Bengals.
Yeah.
Away at the 49ers.
Yeah.
Away at the Steelers.
Yeah.
Home against the Ravens. Home against the Giants. Home against the Cowgirls. Home against the Giants. Home against the Browns. Away against the Seahawks. Home against the Packers. Home against the Saints. So that's
How many home games do they play?
Away against the Cardinals. Away against the Cowboys. Home against Washington.
So in other words, if you want to go see the Eagles play, you're going out to Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh is going to allow fans.
Or Texas. Because New York, no. Cleveland, maybe.
Who cares that they're working on the Reading to the Philly train? Who gives a rat's ass about that? I wouldn't be caught dead in Philly right now.
You rather go to San Fran?
I'm too white to be in Philly right now.
You should go to San Fran. Poop on the street.
So, yep, no fans at the Link this season. No fans at Citizens Bank Ballpark either.
I'm waiting to hear that from Beaver Stadium.
Yeah, haven't heard that yet.
I'm really hoping we just move to the spring. I'm just praying and hoping we just go to the spring. Because there's a 50-50 shot that we even are able to fill that stadium a quarter to a third.
Yes.
And it will not be game day. It won't be... that is not my first experience I want as a quarter full stadium. It is not the first thing I want. I want a full 110,000 people stadium.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm never going to see, of all probability, a home Ohio State whiteout game full capacity.
As a student.
As a student.
At least.
So I'm never going to really see the actual experience.
Yeah, well, so you have to get the experience with Michigan next year.
At least we should win
Speaking
that.
of Michigan.
Michigan still sucks.
Speaking of Michigan. There was something on Barstool Sports posted yesterday on their
I saw
on their
a post
Twitter.
on Facebook saying "ouch."
Yes, on their Twitter of the favorite teams by each state.
We go.
Pennsylvania had the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Fair enough.
Interesting. Like New York had Buffalo Bills. That was interesting.
Who would you think it was going to be?
Either the Yankees or the Giants would have been my guess. But, Buffalo, western part of the state, some of these were obviously not correct. Like California had the San Diego, now the LA Chargers. There's no chance that that's the favorite team out there. They can't even fill their stadium. Florida had the Marlins. I mean,
Did they even get an eighth capacity?
Not a chance. Louisiana didn't have the Saints. It had the Pelicans. I mean, seriously. Texas had the Houston Astros, which I found surprising. Arizona had the Dallas Cowboys.
In New Mexico.
The Phoenix Coyotes.
Yeah.
Alaska had the Boston Celtics. That I found interesting. Hawaii had the LA Lakers.
I can pull it up right now. I know what page it was on.
Ohio had the Cleveland Browns. Illinois was another one that's not right. They had the Chicago White Sox. Chicago White Sox would be fourth in that state.
New Jersey was the Devils.
New Jersey was the Devils. Yeah, that's not right. Iowa had Iowa State, not Iowa.
Yeah.
That's not right. But let's talk about the great state of Michigan. Now,
still sucks.
Michigan has 4 pro sports teams. They got the Detroit Lions. They're all from Detroit. The Detroit Lions, the Detroit Pistons, the Detroit Red Wings, and the Detroit Tigers.
And what do all those teams have in common?
They're all from Detroit. I just said that.
They all suck. They are all, I'm pretty sure, last.
Or you got the Michigan Wolverines.
And Michigan State.
And Michigan State. But again, Michigan is far superior to Michigan State. But do you think, which one of those do you think would be on top in Michigan?
Probably Michigan.
Either the Lions, the Red Wings, the Tigers, the Pistons, the Wolverines, or none of the above.
I'd probably go...
I'd say the Lions.
I'd probably say the Red Wings.
No. I'd say the Lions. What do you guys say?
I like how you go no. Like, the Red Wings weren't good or anything.
No, because, yeah, it's in northern United States, but hockey's just not... Like, the Devils aren't the most popular team in New Jersey. That would be the Giants. Like, who are we teasing here? I mean, obviously, Washington, yeah, the Capitals, maybe the Nationals, maybe. Certainly isn't going to be...
Washington, D.C. is the capital.
Yeah, that's what I said.
They're the only team that plays in D.C.
You have the Washington Nationals baseball team. But anyway, what do you guys think is the most popular team in Michigan? Just wait.
I can tell you what page this is on, too.
No. Don't tell us.
Can I read the caption?
Yes.
Damn, they did us dirty. That's what it was. The most popular team in each state, and the caption was, damn, they did us dirty.
So I can hear all 5,700 people that are watching right now screaming, just tell us, because nobody's guessing. Well, the answer is none of the above. Daniel, according to this, who is the most popular team in Michigan?
Ohio State.
Ohio State Buckeyes.
And the page it is on is Born to Hate Ohio State, which is 98% Michigan fans and 2% Penn State fans.
There is no way in hell Ohio State is the most popular team in Michigan. But when I saw that, I'm not going to tell you where I was when I saw it.
I know where you were.
I laughed my ass off
it says-
when I saw that.
It says, "Damn, they did us dirty." Born to hate Ohio State.
Yes.
Funny page. Funny page.
Ohio, yes, you just see Michigan and it's painted red with the Ohio State logo. That's pretty fun. Well, if I think about it, I'll post that on my Facebook page.
What do you think Nevada is? Well,
Nevada,
you know, but
I know because there's not.
there's
it's
like
going.
there was two professional teams.
It's
there.
going to be the Raiders, but not yet because they're moving to Vegas.
A half-ass football team
Again,
versus a really good hockey team.
Popular than hockey. Right now, it's the Vegas hockey team.
How about the Dakotas?
That's North Dakota College and South Dakota College. Yes.
Nebraska.
Nebraska is it the Cornhuskers? No. Is it the Cornhuskers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Nebraska.
Yes. So anyway, I just thought that was funny seeing Michigan all colored in red.
I like how Mississippi is Tennessee.
Yes, Mississippi University, Tennessee. That's not right either.
What?
Unless if they're all Peyton Manning fans, because Peyton Manning
Where does
went to Tennessee.
LSU play?
Louisiana.
I'm stupid.
Yes.
Louisiana State University.
Which way did he go, George?
Who plays in Mississippi?
Mississippi and Mississippi State.
Mississippi State would probably be the. Probably.
Like I said, if Tennessee, it's because they're giving homage to Peyton Manning because he was the quarterback. When
What
he
about
was in
North
college.
Carolina?
North Carolina's Duke. I knew that one. Duke or North Carolina it was going to be. So anyway, when I woke up this morning, before I took my 40-step commute to work,
I woke up this morning and took a
it's good to know you woke up this morning.
a 20-step commute to downstairs.
So I was perusing down Facebook and I saw an article about the East Penn School District, which is out Allentown way, about what they were going to do for the opening of school.
I have something to add on to this.
And I was reading I didn't read the story. I could care less about what the East Penn School District does. I was reading the comments, and of course, depending upon what side of the political aisle you side on, if you are on the left, you want to keep it closed. If you're on the right, you want it to open. So reading all that, I decided to chime in. And I said, if you lift back the curtain on this controversy, you will see that it's a battle of capitalism versus socialism. That's all that this is. And of course, I got slammed. It was only about 3 comments. Again, it was early in the morning. Most people are still sleeping.
Who gets up before 10 a.m. anymore?
It's not like people are working.
Exactly.
They're saying I got to get educated. It's a health risk. Blah 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 blah. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is a health issue. No, it's not. It's a political issue. And how do I know it's a political issue? Well, just yesterday.
Well, after you posted this, I saw about 8 articles about it.
Just yesterday, the biggest teachers union out in Los Angeles posted their rules for going back to work. Their 3 biggest rules are, elimination of charter schools, because charter schools are taking money away from public schools. Universal health care. How does universal health care determine that we need to open schools?
It doesn't.
And the biggest thing that the state of California could do to get the LA teachers back in school, defund the police. What am I missing here? Am I missing something? How does defunding the police get teachers back to school? What I know, I'm not educated. That I'm a hick that lives in Pennsylvania.
I'll make a bet.
So I need somebody out there that's educated along the New York or California coast to explain to me, and I know you watch this show, but I need you guys to explain to me how defunding the police gets teachers back to school. I will wait for somebody to post a response to that anywhere on any of my public media sites.
I'll make a bet. If they do that, defund the police, school shootings go up. I'm telling you right now.
Well, of course they are. Unless the Democrats get their way. Because what do Democrats want? And this show wraps around tonight. Thank you for leading me in.
Corona.
Yes, I do have corona. One of the things that Democrats want as they march to socialism is taking away guns in the guise of protection.
You could,
Yeah. They want to get rid of that Second Amendment.
That's never going to happen.
No, it's not. At least not legally, it's not going to happen. But think about it. What else comes from keeping schools closed? The economy collapses. People can't go to work. How are moms and dads, or moms or dads, going to go back to work if you have a second grader who now has to take online classes? Are they going to go to a daycare to go to school? I mean, what's the difference then?
There is none.
There is no difference. Daycares couldn't handle the influx of people. They have maximum people that they could allow in a building. So what are you going to do? I mean, one of the things is, split the class size. 3 days a week you're online, 2 days a week you're in class, and then it flips the next week. You could do something like that. But
They do
seriously,
that now in school, it's stupid.
Yes,
It's
I
honestly one of
realize
the
that.
dumbest things you could do in college.
so to keep schools closed, you're going to collapse the economy, which gets you to another thing socialists want: guaranteed income. Kind of what's going on right now, isn't it? We have how many people still out of work? $19-20 million, but they're collecting that $600 a month from the Fed, or $600 a week from the federal government. How many of them are actually make $600 a week? Not as many as are collecting it, I can tell you that.
Under 20%.
Oh, I'm sure. 25%, let's say. So, what's the incentive to go back to work? So the government's going to give them guaranteed income. It's supposed to end in July. Do you really think it's going to end? No. No, the only way it's going to end is if Republicans get their way in and pass a payroll tax holiday, which is going to get you guys to go back to work and get less tax taken out, which I am actually against because of what line it comes out of your taxes. We've had this conversation before. Do you remember why I'm against this?
No.
Because it doesn't come out of your federal tax. Oh, no, 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 no. When you get a payroll tax holiday, it comes out of your FICA line of your taxes. What is your FICA line on your taxes? It's that 6.2% that goes to what?
Medicare?
Your Social Security. That's where the payroll tax holiday comes from. It comes out of your Social Security Trust Fund. Doesn't come out of federal income tax. Government still gets their money. The Social Security Trust Fund doesn't get their money when you get a payroll tax holiday. That's why I'm against that. You want a payroll tax holiday? Let's take it off of line 1. Top line, not the second line. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next few weeks with schools, especially on the high school, elementary school, middle school level.
Colleges are kind of finalized where they are, unless something really major happens.
I don't think colleges
Penn
are
State
finalized
will
where
not
they
go
are.
online now. It's too late.
Yeah, but they've moved a lot of their classes online.
Only the ones over 50.
Which is how many? A lot.
The freshman ones.
A lot. So we got a lot of other stuff to talk to tonight.
Sophomores, juniors, and seniors will be in person anyway.
I got some videos to show you people. One of them is a rather long video, and I don't want you to lose viewers. It's a 9-minute video, but it's very important that you watch the whole thing. It's going to wake you up, especially for you millennials that watch this show. So let's run that video now. Since we're talking about socialism, there were some people invited to the White House about a week and a half ago, and one of them was somebody who came from Cuba. And he talks about what it's like, what it was like living in Cuba, and how Fidel Castro promised all that stuff. So hopefully you watch this whole thing. Like I said, it's a little over 9 minutes long, but it's very important that you watch. So you open your eyes to what socialism is really like, and how socialism begets something, which begets something, which begets communism. So as long as I get volume, we'll be good to go. So I'll see you in 9 minutes and 46 seconds.
The people in this table. Look at our backgrounds. Just think that in 1961, as a 13-year-old, by myself, on my way to Spain, I wasn't even coming here. I arrived in this great country, and almost 60 years later, I'm sitting next to the President of the United States, talking about the American dream. The only country in the world, no other country in the world, that you can start a business from the trunk of your car. And within a very few years, with hard work, commitment, and all the core values that we learn from this very culture of ours, we can become very important to our future. We can become those people who make the next generation better than the one before. This is the only country. Why do you think you had to close the borders? Because everybody in the world wants to come over here. Nobody's ever forced to come over here. We come over here, in my case, because my parents chose that I would not be indoctrinated by the communist country, by the totalitarian country, by the totalitarian regime. They don't educate children. Absolutely not. And this is something that we need to understand. What is happening in our backyard today, I experienced as an 11-year-old. I remember vividly all the promises that a guy named Castro gave, and how 99% of the people swallow the pill. It took many years later, after I read somebody named Saul Alinsky, that I realized that all those people were nothing but useful idiots. I remember Castro, while in the mountains, being interviewed and asked if he was a communist. He went crazy. I dare you, he says. Católico, apostólico, y romano. I'm a Roman Catholic. Educated by the Jesuits, he was. How dare you? We even have a priest in the mountains. We used to have priests in the mountains. I remember, I was the Marist brothers, Christopher Columbus here, for those of you know. And I remember the brothers, the Marist brothers, used to send young kids to the mountains because it was the second coming of our Lord. He was going to save Cuba. I remember how he promised to the farmers, to the Guajiros, that you're going to own the land. I remember all the promises that we hear today about free education and free health care and free land. And my God, no freedom. But he never said that until after he was in power, got rid of all the police, got rid of all the military, been there for the last 60 years and counting. And he destroyed each and every one who helped him, the Catholic Church. Everybody. And what do I know that? Because I happened to come to this country with the very last 9 cloister nuns from Convento Santa Clara because he had taken over the convent. And I was on my way to Spain. I wasn't even coming here because I was going to join my brother, who my parents had already sent a few months before, because he was in the age where the government will take him for indoctrination purposes. My dad, who had experienced the same thing coming from Spain at the turn of the century, running away not from socialism, communism. He knew better. I remember when he used to tell my mom, Fefa, this SOB is a communist. My mother says, look, how can you say that? He's Catholic. Look, he's worse. He got rosary beads all over his neck. It just so happened that when I was in my way to Spain to meet my brother, I was going to go to the Marist brothers in La Coruña, España. Same brothers here at Christopher Columbus, by the way. My brother died, and I was kept in this country. Greatest blessing I ever had. But imagine what happened to mom and dad. One day, you lose both kids. This is a family who had never been involved in politics. My father came at age 18 from Spain, running from communists. By himself, never went back. After a long, long life of sacrifice, when he was about to enjoy the fruit of his labors, just like a president that is helping us today, because he could have been just having a good time. One of his many beautiful golf courses, I know. But yet he gave up enjoying the fruit of his labors to do this. So did my dad. That's why I love you. Exactly the same. So when they're about to do that, from one day to the next, they end up in this country with the shirt that he was wearing on his back. And did a maximum. I've been here already 4 years. But thank God for Pedro Pan. Talking about socialism, Catholic Church, 14,000 kids who came like me in this country without parents. And we were provided an opportunity. This is what makes our country great. They didn't give me free nothing. They gave me the opportunity. That is the most valuable thing in the world. Now, when I said they didn't give me any free something, please understand that at 13 years old, I had to be provided with a home. I had to be provided with food and an education. That is socialism. That's Americanism. That's the America that these people are trying to destroy today by using funny terms like socialism. They're not. They're communist. Don't ever forget that. I know our president understands that because he knows. He's been all over the world, and you're surrounded with great people, very loyal people. And we have our back. I remember the first time I gave a little speech about something like this, tell him about I came from Cuba and blah, blah, blah. I remember this was around October 2016. I thought you were a little crazy for the sacrifice you were about to take. But I predicted that we were going to elect you in November, and I was going to see you in the White House in January. Thank you very much. Because of the situations right now, I cannot give you a hug otherwise. Thank you very much. And I want to leave you with one last thing. Never forget about my dad, who only had a 6th grade education, but I think he was the greatest philosopher I ever met. He used to tell us how lucky he was because he was able to come from Spain to Cuba. And then he came from Cuba to the United States. And he saw me graduate from college, and that was the biggest prize he ever had. And he said, don't lose this place because you're not going to be as lucky as me. Because if you lose this place, you have no place to go. So with that, please keep that in mind. And please, people, explain that to our young people who are demonstrating out there. Don't be useful idiots. Please understand what's happening in our country. See what happens to our parents, and see what is happening to America today.
Pretty amazing. You know, there's some things in that video that I happen to say all the time. You know, I say that, you know, socialism leads to Marxism, which leads to communism. It always happens. Always happens. I tell you, you know, the progressives in this country, they don't educate our youth. They indoctrinate our youth. What did he say? Like a minute and a half into it. And they indoctrinate, not educate. He brought up Saul Alinsky. I talk about Saul Alinsky a lot. I said, read your book. Read his book, Rules for Radicals. That's the playbook of the progressive left. Saul Alinsky, Rules for Radicals. He said it. He said, the idiots that do Saul Alinsky. What did he say that Castro did? Promised free. Everything was free, and it turned out nothing was free because he took everything away. You can easily see the parallels to what's going on right now. It doesn't take a rocket scientist, and it's a shame that so many people in this country are blind to what's coming someday. It doesn't matter if we elect Trump, and I hope we do re-elect Trump. Someday again, there's going to be a Democratic president. And there's no more such thing as moderates in the Democratic Party. Joe Biden was always a moderate when he was in the Senate. And we talked about what his platform is in the last show. He's taken a huge step left. That was never the rule when he ran for president. It used to always be in the primary, you jogged. If you were a Democrat, you jogged left in the primary. If you were a Republican, you jogged right in the primary. But as soon as you got the nomination, you moved to the middle to try to get the votes. Joe Biden's not moving to the middle. Joe Biden's moving left. He's moving left. He talked about the promise of peace, equality, but all that was created was misery. He removed the police and replaced it with loyal people. All right there. All stuff we talk about all the time on this channel. I must know what I'm talking about. I must be one of those educated hicks.
Or you actually listen to the one teacher that probably said something very, very true in one of my history classes. He said history always repeats itself.
It does. It always repeats
So
itself.
you're just going off of history because it's repeating itself. You don't know anything. You're just following history.
I pay attention. I pay attention. So, the president had a press conference today.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was preparing for the show, so I didn't get to watch it. But oh boy, was the left going nuts. Because apparently, it was more like a campaign rally. They were going nuts. He hit on point after point after point after point. Jim Acosta, in particular, he was going nuts on Twitter. The idiot rhinos from the Lincoln Project were going nuts on Twitter after this thing was over. I'm going to have to go back and try to find it tonight because I'm sure I'm going to laugh my ass off. Seriously, they said it sounded more like a campaign rally.
That's fun.
And of course, you know, people like Takai, oh, it's sacrilegious to do such things in the Rose Garden, blah, 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 blah.
Bite me.
Exactly. Well, gotta watch. He might just do that. He's on that.
Not what I meant.
He's on that side of the fence. I wonder if CNN and MSNBC, they'll carry the whole thing because when Trump does have his rallies, they don't carry them anymore. All throughout the 2016 campaign, they carried every single one of them. Because who got Trump elected? The media got Trump elected. From the day he came down that escalator, the media tried to destroy him. And all they did was make an icon out of the guy. The left wants to blame anybody for Trump being elected. Blame CNN, blame MSNBC, blame ABC, CBS, blame the New York Times, the Washington Post, blame them all. They're the ones that created this guy.
And now they're trying to get rid of him and can't.
Right, now they're trying to get rid of him, and they can't. And then you have these idiots. I posted this yesterday on Facebook early in the morning. What would you say? This mother posted that her middle son told her that he's a Trump supporter and now he's dead to me. Seriously? You're going to disown and not talk to your son because he's a Trump supporter. Your son, your flesh and blood. The kid grew inside of you for 9 months. And now you're not going to talk to him anymore because he's a Trump supporter?
Would you disown me if I said I was a Biden supporter?
No.
You would probably be disappointed with me.
I think you're an idiot, but I wouldn't disown you. Seriously.
What if I put a Biden flag up in my room?
And you put a Biden flag. I mean,
you don't care.
I taught you to be an independent thinker. If you think independently the wrong way, there's nothing I can do about it. We would certainly sit and have a discussion on why you're a Biden supporter.
I was just wondering. I have something to add then when you're done.
Go ahead.
I saw somebody post on Facebook. I don't know who it was. Bob, for our purposes.
I know Bob.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
They posted an article saying Trump blames Obama for coronavirus. Like the Obama, like what? What?
Yeah. Well, what he's blaming him on was not restocking.
Yeah, it was
all
like
the
But it was, and the guy goes, "How it wasn't even a thing." Like that's not what it's about. Like,
Yes.
oh, I just saw it. I was
Yes.
just like, why? What?
Yes. So, the big thing still going on Twitter is, Trump's a racist. He cares more about the Confederacy. Blah, 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 blah. So, he commuted, what's his name, Stone's prison sentence. Mm-hmm. And, of course, the left went nuts about that. Now, he's in his right. It's in the Constitution. Nancy, by the way, comes out and says, well, we're going to pass a law that says president can't pardon or commute somebody when they're convicted of a crime that was helping that president. Nancy.
That's very, very specific.
Nancy, honey, darling, you drunken bitch, you.
Was she eating ice cream when she said this?
No, believe it or not, no. Let me fill you in on a little clue, you progressive slut. That would get struck down in the Supreme Court 9-0. Even the liberals on the court would vote to strike that down. It's unconstitutional. It's in the Constitution. The president has the power to commute or pardon anybody. Who are some of the people that were pardoned? I believe Bill Clinton pardoned his brother. What do you know? What do you know? I believe Bill Clinton pardoned a domestic terrorist that was caught on film making a bomb, who is now on the board of directors of... she's on the board of directors of, hold on, it'll come to me. It's a group, they're in the news a lot right now. Oh, Black Lives Matter! She's on the board of Black Lives Matter. She's a Marxist, by the way. Which leads me into thinking, one of the things Black Lives Matter wants now, not the saying Black Lives Matter, the organization Black Lives Matter, is they want the size of the United States about the size of Texas for their own. So,
go ahead.
They want to secede land. They want the United States to secede land for them. Who sounds like the Confederacy when they say stuff like that?
Us, apparently.
Oh, Oh, I mean, they want land so they could secede from the United States. Isn't that what the Confederates did? Huh. And now there's actually talk in Washington about paying reparations.
Really?
Yes.
That'll get struck down very quickly.
The LA Times came out with an opinion piece today about changing the Star-Spangled Banner because it's racist.
How?
You know what their suggestion was?
How is it racist? Explain
I
that
have
to
no
me.
idea. I can't understand it. I'm an uneducated hick.
So, if we have to pay if that actually got through somehow, I will see you in another country. I'm moving to Canada.
I wouldn't move to Canada.
Where am I moving to?
Canada's too progressive. Iceland.
Honestly, I'll move to Iceland. They got black sand beaches.
Yeah.
Looks cool.
Yeah, they're not racist there. They got black sand.
Where, I'll move to Sweden. I gotta learn
So-
Swedish then.
Ibra's grew up in Sweden.
I'll get hints from Ibra.
So, what does the LA Times suggest should be our new national anthem?
Please say the Black Lives Matter. The Black.
No, but that
National
was
Anthem.
one of the suggestions.
The one that even black people have never heard.
No, their suggestion was "Lean on me,
What is that?
lean on me when you're not strong, 'cause I'll be your friend.
Imagine hearing.
I'll help you care." Now, how is that a national anthem?
Imagine hearing that at a sporting event. So, imagine your child being in high school. They're on the soccer team. They're all standing there in a line, and that's the song that's playing.
Progressivism is a freaking disease. It's gotta be. The MLS, by the way, refuses to play the national anthem before any of their games.
That's wrong. You can't do that.
The NBA
I still don't watch the MLS, so.
The NBA is allowing people who order jerseys basically to write whatever they want on the back.
Okay.
Kill cops. You could do that.
Oh.
Kill the Jews.
Oh, you mean anything?
Kill the Jews. You could do that. You can't write Blue Lives Matter. You can't write Free Hong Kong.
Free Hong Kong?
You can't write stuff that goes against China. But you could write Kill the Jews.
Free Hong Kong.
Interesting.
What does
Isn't that
Hong
interesting?
Kong have to do with anything?
It's the whole NBA's in bed with China right now.
I thought Trump was in bed with China.
No, it's the NBA that's in bed with China.
According,
Very interesting.
According to the socialists.
Very interesting. It's amazing.
Maybe
Chris
I should get a
says-
soccer jersey that says Blue Lives Matter now.
Just don't wear it out in public. You'll be killed.
Oh boy.
Some people that want history canceled are the same ones that want to hold on to it for retributions. Exactly.
I'll get an Inter Milan jersey, so it's blue and black. That says Blue Lives Matter on the back. With a 20. I'll put a 20 on it. I can do that. I can get custom jerseys like that.
Yeah.
From China.
Except you probably can't put, Free Hong Kong.
I still don't know what that has to do with anything. I don't know. Is
So-
there someone taking over Hong Kong right now?
Yeah, China took it back over a few years ago, like 20 years ago from British rule, and now they're clamping down on the freedoms that Hong Kong had. And, Tibet's a problem over there. And read your news sometime.
I knew about Tibet. I didn't know.
Read your news.
Didn't know about Hong Kong. We never learned about that in school.
So, on to video number 2, and this kind of goes back to opening schools. Now, I know someone watching this show is going to see this video because they sent it to me.
I watched this video.
It's an interesting video. You might have to turn the volume up a little bit because it's a little hard to hear. I had trouble hearing it. So you might need to turn your volume up. This video's a lot shorter. It's about 3 minutes.
Best movie ever.
It is a pretty good movie. Here it goes.
It's just a mask, you guys. Don't be a jerk. It's for the greater good. It's just a vaccine, you guys. Don't be a jerk. It's for the greater good. In 4 months, the U.S. was transformed into an obedient socialist country. Government dictated what events are acceptable to attend. Violent protests that instill fear are okay. But church services, family funerals, and patriotic celebrations are dangerous. And you bought it without a fight. Standing in a graduation line is a safety hazard. Small businesses were forced to close, but crowds to support the corporate money machine at Walmart, Lowe's, and Home Depot are okay. Come on, it's just a mask and safety precautions. How about a little hush money? Here's $2,400 that we stole out of your paycheck in the first place. Enjoy. Buy something with it from a big corporation. Cash is dirty. We can't give change. There's a coin shortage. Use your card. In 4 months, they convince you to use a traceable card for everything. In less than 4 months, government closed public schools, then restructured education under the guise of public safety. In less than 4 months, our government demonstrated how easily people assimilate to guidelines that have no scientific premise whatsoever when you are fearful. In less than 4 months, our government successfully instilled fear in a majority of the population in America that allows them to control every aspect of your life, including what you eat, where you go, who you see, and your toilet paper. And the most dangerous and terrifying part, people are not afraid of the government who removed their freedom. They're afraid of their neighbors, family, and friends. And they hate those that won't comply. It's absolutely terrifying to me that so many people don't question authority. They are willing to surrender their critical thinking skills and independence. They just gave up without thinking, without a fight. Do you know what's coming next? It's just a vaccine. Come on, it's for the greater good. Wait until you're told that you can't enter any store or business without proof of the COVID-19 vaccine. Wait until you can't go to public events or get on a plane without proof receiving the vaccine. Don't think it's possible? Well, you already allowed the government to say when you can go outside, where you're allowed to go, and accepted a new unproven digital education for your kids in the last 100 days. You followed blindly because you were told to do so. You're kidding yourself if you think the mass behavior won't be repeated with a vaccine or whatever the next step is. I don't follow politics. I don't care about that stuff. I don't think about it. 6 million Jewish people were exterminated in Germany because 97% of the population cowered to populist control. Nobody wanted to think about it. It's easier just to ignore it. But that couldn't happen here in America, right? They got you. Without a thought, without a fight. Just like France, just like Russia, just like China. Welcome, comrade.
Yeah.
Best part about that video is... It might be playing again. No, it's not. Best part about that video is how true that is according to the movie. Actually.
Yeah.
That's the funniest part.
I mean, when he talked about, 6 million Jews being murdered, what was the first thing they did? Took away your guns. One of the first things Hitler did. Took away your guns.
Nobody could rise up.
And then he started to get rid of history. Remember all the book burnings over there? If you know your history?
I do.
Yeah. And then World War II started and France cowered all to hell. Didn't even put up a fight.
As they basically kind of did in World War One.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as the Germans crossed the Rhineland, that was it.
They used the Rhineland, they thought it was impenetrable, but once they kind of did it...
But
that was why they demilitarized the Rhineland, because they thought it was naturally impenetrable.
Yeah, what did it take, about 12 minutes?
They put 50 Merlock divisions through.
Yeah.
And they circled all the good.
Yeah.
And then the British
the
escaped.
Rhineland fell like that.
And they escaped through Dunkirk, and actually they tried to go straight through the Rhineland again when they did their second punch, but the U.S. were there this time. But the French, once the Germans fired, they said, should we fire back? And they said no. And they left.
Yeah.
That's literally what they did.
They literally gave up their country.
And said...
And what did Hitler do? He signed the peace treaty in the exact car they signed the peace treaty of World War I. Talk about your symbolism.
Interesting.
You didn't know that?
No.
Same train car.
That's pretty funny.
Same exact train car.
And then...
You didn't know that?
No.
Wow.
And then Hitler made France a puppet state.
Yeah.
Vichy France.
Vichy France. That's right. But...
And occupied the coast.
You know, what else did the Joker say in there? And you know it's coming. You know what he said was the truth. You know it's coming. As soon as they say a vaccine is ready, you're not going to be able to go anywhere without getting this vaccine. You know it's coming.
And it'll be expensive.
Especially schools. You know it's coming. Now, me listening to business shows while I'm working from home, they say we could have a vaccine by the end of the summer.
So then it wouldn't surprise me if by January 2021 is when those rules will go into place.
I mean, if we have a vaccine by the end of the summer, are you going to get it? Do you trust it? I mean, usually it takes years for this. We talked about this already. Usually it takes years to have a vaccine, and they're rushing back. By the way, if you could like pinpoint ahead of time these companies, like there's a lot of companies, you can make a shitload of money in the stock market if you know which ones are going to get approved for the next stages a little bit ahead of time. I mean, these things are going up 200-400% in a day. There's a shitload of money to be made in the stock market.
I know. That's a very iffy topic, though, a vaccine.
Christine says no. She's not getting. What happens if Berks Lane says you can't come in without a vaccine? We want to see your vaccination papers. Think about it.
It won't surprise me when Penn State does that.
Think about it. I mean, what in our history over in Europe, we want to see your papers. We want to see your papers. Going back to the earlier 19... we want to see your papers. What happens when our government starts... Let me see your vaccine papers. Let me see your vaccine papers. Don't you think this is coming? You guys are smart. I know the people that watch the show are smart. You know it's coming.
She said she'll bowl in her backyard.
You know this is coming. I want to see your vaccination card. You know it's coming. He talked about a cashless society in that video. You know they're going to try to push that.
No.
What does a cashless society do? Somebody posted on my Facebook page yesterday. They wanted to know. Let me see if I can find it quick. They wanted to know my thoughts on a cashless society, and I wrote something kind of long.
As you always do.
As I always do. That's correct.
You really try to make you drive that point.
I do. Here's what I wrote. Okay. So, this is another step by the globalists to make us all one. Think about it. One of the things that make each country unique is their currency. At least in Europe, until the European Union introduced the euro in 1999. What the euro did, besides strip countries of their unique identity, was to make the larger countries richer, think Germany, at the expense of the smaller countries, think Greece. Think back a few years ago when Greece had their economic crisis. Well, it was made worse because they were on the euro, which they couldn't support how strong that currency was. Go back just a couple years ago. What was bond interest rates for a little while there in Greece? 40%? The government was begging the people to give them money so that they could pay their debt. They couldn't make their interest payments on their debt because the euro, the currency, was too strong for their country. Places like Germany, it's too weak for their country. So they get rich. They get rich at the expense of Greece and Italy. Those were the two main countries that were hurt. Their system of government couldn't support the strength of their currency.
Italy has never had a very strong government. Going back to the 40s.
Think about it. Try to remember what bond rates were in Greece just a couple of years ago. Sky high. Sky high.
You would have bought a bond. Or a few.
Especially because they were only like a year to maturity. But the fear was, are you going to get paid in that year? Once they hit maturity, see, people, that's why they had to keep raising the interest rates, because people weren't buying them. Because they were afraid that, okay, yeah, I'm going to give you $10,000 and buy a bond. Well, I'm not going to get my money in a year. Mm-hmm. Or 6 months or 3 months, whenever it was. They were defaulting on their interest payments. Well, how are they going to pay you your bond interest if they're defaulting on their debt to other governments? So they had to get a bailout. And in order for other countries in Europe to give them a bailout, they had to agree to strict guidelines, which basically stripped Greece of its independence. Look it up. It's there. Look at the Al Gore created internet about what countries, again, like Germany did to Greece, so that they would loan them money.
I love how you always go the Al Gore created internet.
Well, that's what he claimed.
You just say the internet, not the Al Gore. It's the internet.
That's because Al Gore, if you were around in the election of 2000, Al Gore said, I created the internet. It's pretty easy to recognize that the political left in this country wants one world government. Mm-hmm. They're willing to let cities burn. They're willing to let thousands be murdered. They're willing to destroy our economy just to get power. They're willing to let someone with dementia be at the top of their presidential ticket. Why? Because he could be controlled. Biden has always been a moderate, but now he's surrounded himself with friends of Bernie. In fact, a couple days ago, Bernie said a Biden victory will bring the most progressive presidency since FDR. Progressivism, always say this, leads to socialism. Socialism leads to Marxism. Marxism leads to communism. I'm going to drill that into your head. Communism is all about control. The easiest way to control people, get rid of currency, coins, gold, silver. Your entire life could literally be destroyed with one keystroke. Welcome to the New World Order. That's what I wrote.
Strong.
It is strong.
So,
you know what? I actually could sit and think about what I want to write.
So if you think, so instead of the euro, let's just say we had, I think there's something that's called this, but basically all the countries in North and South America.
Yeah.
So we all went to one currency.
Yes.
Every country would collapse except us.
If the currency rate floated, yes. If they pegged it, no. The other countries can survive.
Around ours, $1 would be about one
yes.
US dollar.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, yes. Every other country in North America, maybe with the exception of Canada, would collapse.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, yeah. Within a year. They
would have to make it probably the...
Well,
I don't know how many US dollars would
See,
equal it.
one of the things that America likes that hurts America is basically they want everything pegged to the U.S. dollar. Because U.S. got to be the top dog.
The euro's stronger than ours.
Yeah, but...
And the pound.
So everything gets equated to the dollar. So that's one of the reasons why we always run trade deficit. Like, it's a very confusing thing. You have to know your economics to understand this. Maybe one of these days I'll have a show where we'll talk about this stuff. But
you have a PowerPoint ready and everything?
No. No.
You're not going to be what's her face?
No, we're not going to do PowerPoints or anything. No. I hate that kind of stuff.
You don't like PowerPoints?
Oh my God, I hate all that stuff. Oh, you know, I
Are you going to use Prezi?
I posted something else on my Facebook page about COVID rates in Florida, where all these labs were posting 100%, positive rates, which obviously isn't true. And Christine commented that she wants to go start doing pivot tables in Excel. Looking at that, I'm like, oh my God! Oh,
I have a friend. We're also going to use the name Bob.
You got a lot of friends named Bob.
Well, I can't say his real name, but he tells me, because I said, I want to move football in the spring so we can fill stadiums. He goes, you really think this will be over by the spring? Like, look at Florida. He goes to school in Florida. Mm-hmm. And he's like, look at Florida. It's going to probably go online. I'm like, you really believe anything that is said about Florida. Mm-hmm. A, their testing has gone up tenfold there. Biggest state in testing, right?
Yep.
Deaths has gone down tenfold.
Yep.
What is the problem?
Yep.
And those numbers have to be inflated.
Yes.
They have to be.
Oh, they are.
By thousands.
Yes.
They have to be doubled.
Yes.
They have to be.
Because a lot of places were just reporting positives.
Yeah.
Test results. I showed you if you look at my Facebook page, all the labs that showed a 100% positive test results.
Which is impossible.
I said, what are the odds? And I put infinity to 1.
That's impossible.
Yes, of course it is.
You said I should get maybe tested just to see if I ever had it.
It wouldn't surprise me if you were going to be required to get tested.
Oh, it won't surprise me either. Just don't do that thing when they stick it up. That looks so uncomfortable. That looks so uncomfortable.
You don't want something shoved up your nose?
No, not like 4 inches into my nose. It looks so uncomfortable.
So, I got 2 more things to talk about, and we're going to save the best for last, which is stupid laws of Arkansas. And there's some doozies.
Some doozies.
I want to read to you guys something. A opinion columnist by the name of Barry Weiss.
Who's that?
Barry Weiss is a woman, first off. So her name is spelled B-A-R-I. Not Barry, the Reading Royals player.
Best player
Best
ever.
Power play. The guy was slower than molasses, but put him on the power play in the playoffs, and he scored.
I will never forget. Why do they have Barry on the power play? Like in the first round, why do they have Barry on the? I think he scored like 10 times on the power play in the playoffs. Why do they have Barry?
I think he scored like 3 goals in the whole regular season.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, Barry Weiss is an opinionated columnist. She is self-proclaimed left of center.
Okay.
But she says she's a centrist. So basically, she's right in the middle and a little bit left.
Okay, so very, very moderately
Yes.
Democrat.
Now, if you listen to the other people where she works, where she did work until she resigned today, the New York Times, she's a conservative. So that just tells you how we've jumped left in this country. That people who are once moderate centrists are now considered conservative. That's pretty scary. That's really scary. We were always a center-right country. Now all of a sudden we're a center-left country? That's scary. So anyway, Barry resigned this morning. I want to read to you her resignation letter. And again, this is a little long, and I got to read all this. I'm going to skip one paragraph because one paragraph makes absolutely nothing.
Jesus.
So, yeah, it's like 1,500 words, and I suck at reading anyway. So here we go. It says, "It is with sadness that I write to tell you that I'm resigning from the New York Times. I joined the paper with gratitude and optimism 3 years ago. I was hired with the goal of bringing in voices that would not otherwise appear in your pages. First-time writers, centrists, conservatives, and others who would not naturally think of the Times as their home. The reason for this effort was clear. The paper's failure to anticipate the outcome of the 2016 election meant that it didn't have a firm grasp of the country it covers. The people that hired her have admitted as much on various occasions. The priority was to help redress the critical shortcomings." So basically, they wanted to understand how Hillary lost the election, so they wanted to bring in more opinion writers to the right of where the New York Times was, but they weren't bringing in conservative writers. They were still bringing in slightly left of center writers.
Conservative.
Okay. Now, let me also state that Barry Weiss is Jewish. No big deal, but it's a big deal for this article. Okay? All right. But the lessons that ought to have followed the election, lessons about the importance of understanding other Americans, the necessity of resisting tribalism, and the centrality of the free exchange of ideas to a democratic society have not been learned. Instead, a new consensus has emerged in the press, but perhaps especially at this paper, that truth isn't a process of collective discovery, but an orthodoxy already known to an enlightened few whose job it is to inform everyone else. That is how a progressive thinks. They're the smartest people in the room, and everybody else, especially conservatives, have no freaking clue what they're talking about. That's why from Pennsylvania to Nevada, it's called flyover country. You have the coast, where the liberals are, and then you have flyover country. And that's why they lose elections. My own forays into wrongthink have made me the subject of constant bullying by colleagues who disagree with my views. They have called me a Nazi. Again, she's Jewish. They have called me a Nazi and a racist. I have learned to brush off comments about how I'm writing about the Jews again. Several colleagues perceived to be friendly with me were badgered by coworkers. My work and my character are openly demeaned on company-wide Slack channels. So Slack is like their inter-office instant messenger service, where masthead editors regularly weigh in. There, some coworkers insist I need to be rooted out if this company is to be truly inclusive. So they need to get rid of her so the company is inclusive.
So why are these people not being fired, fined, and everything else?
I don't know. While others post axe emojis next to my name. Still other New York Times employees publicly smear me as a liar and a bigot on Twitter with no fear that harassing me will be met with appropriate action. They never are. There are terms for all this: unlawful discrimination, hostile work environment, and constructive discharge. I'm no legal expert, but I know that this is wrong. I do not understand how you have allowed this kind of behavior to go on inside your company in full view of the paper's entire staff and the public. And I certainly can't square how you and other Times leaders have stood by while simultaneously praising me in private for my courage. Showing up for work as a centrist at an American newspaper should not require bravery. Part of me wishes I could say that my experience was unique, but the truth is that intellectual curiosity, let alone risk-taking, is now a liability at the Times. Why edit something challenging to our readers or write something bold only to go through a numbing process of making it ideologically kosher, when we could assure ourselves of job security by publishing our 4,000th op-ed arguing that Donald Trump is a unique danger to the country and the world? And so self-censorship has become the norm. What rules remain at the Times are applied with extreme selectivity. If a person's ideology is in keeping with the new orthodoxy, they and their work remain unscrutinized. Everyone else lives in fear of digital Thunderdome. Online venom is excused so long as it is directed at proper targets. Op-eds that would have easily been published just 2 years ago now get an editor or a writer in serious trouble. Think of the Tom Cotton piece from a couple weeks ago. If not fired. A couple people had to resign because they let that editorial run. On the opinion pages, if a piece is perceived as likely to inspire backlash internally or on social media, the editor or writer avoids pitching it. If he or she feels strongly enough to suggest it, they are quickly steered to safer ground. And if every now and then they succeed in getting a piece published that does not explicitly promote progressive causes, it happens only after every line is carefully massaged, negotiated, and caveated. It took the paper 2 days and 2 jobs to say that the Tom Cotton op-ed fell short of our standards. We attached an editor's note on a travel story about Jaffa shortly after it was published because it failed to touch an important aspect of Jaffa's makeup and its history, but there is still none appended to Cheryl Strayford's fawning interview with the writer Alice Walker, a proud anti-Semite who believes in lizard Illuminati. Because a lot of people on the left are anti-Semites. The paper of record is more and more the record of those living in a distant galaxy, for those concerns are profoundly removed from the lives of the people. This is a galaxy to which to choose, just as a few recent examples. The Soviet space program is lauded for its diversity, the doxing of teenagers in the name of justice, and in worst case symptoms in human history include the United States alongside Nazi Germany. So you get the point. There's actually about 7 more paragraphs that I can read. But you get the point. So this is what the right says about the New York Times all the time. That they only care about the left. They're not willing to print other views of their story. So here you have it. I mean, again, this woman is a centrist, a lefty centrist who can't write what she feels because it gets edited. So how the hell are you ever going to see the conservative viewpoint on the New York Times? I mean, it used to be a respected paper a few decades ago. Now it's not even worth. The toilet tissue I wipe my ass on is worth more than what's printed in the New York Times.
I even told you something earlier today. That a news source out of Penn State called Onward State.
Yes.
I always thought they were pretty reliable. I just want to know what's going on in State College, anything that I need to know about, especially right now. Now they're posting stuff that's leaning left. Mm-hmm. They posted something like during Art Fest in State College shows grim signs that students will not cooperate. And what proof do you have that those are students?
They were talking about wearing masks.
And then there was another one that they posted that's saying that they're... What's the word? The midget... Whatever. Mitigate? Yeah. Mitigate wearing masks. Like, this is all kind of not middle anymore.
Yes.
Now I've gone to the Collegian, which is a student-run newspaper. I would really hope that they would just post the truth.
And honestly, I would be a little worried that they would have been more left. Because it's students running it.
I get both on my Facebook, so I kind of just click on them to read them, and then when I read them, I just kind of determine in my head if it's BS or not.
Yes.
Because I would hope I would know the difference between truth and BS. Listening to you all the time.
Well, it's a good thing you know my stuff is the truth, not BS.
I would hope, unless you're just teaching me BS.
I speak the truth. All right, so let's end tonight with stupid laws in Arkansas.
Okay.
We could do Wolf of Wall Street.
Movie that you just watched.
You'll have to see that scene. It's a funny scene. He just keeps it. He took him out to eat for lunch. He's like, and they go what they do for like 3 minutes.
Whatever director came up with that was like, we need to fill about 3 minutes worth of time here. That we gotta extend the movie. Isn't it like a 2 and...
It's a 3-hour movie.
Isn't it already a really long movie?
Whee! Yeah, he kind of does that in there too. All right. It is illegal in Arkansas, especially Little Rock, for the Arkansas River to rise higher than the Main Street Bridge.
What are they going to do, arrest the river? Maybe everybody is required by law to bucket it out somewhere else so it's low.
Maybe they're required to lift the bridge.
Maybe they have...
Everybody in Little Rock's going to get in the water and lift the bridge. Or you're all going to jail. You're all going to drown, but you're going to jail. Oh, God. It is illegal to sound a horn in a vehicle after 9 o'clock at any place where cold drinks or sandwiches are served. In Little Rock.
Okay.
It is illegal to pronounce Arkansas incorrectly. So you can't say Arkansas.
Arkansas, the way a lot of people would probably say it.
If you are in Arkansas and say Arkansas, you could go to jail.
I'm going to go to Arkansas now and yell Arkansas.
Well, I'm not bailing you out of jail.
Bet you nobody knows that that's illegal.
Obviously the person who wrote this does.
Yeah, because some person that was looking up funny laws.
It is illegal to flirt on the streets in Little Rock.
Hey, baby.
Don't say that to me. It is illegal to keep an alligator in your bathtub.
And again with the bathtub and an animal.
Yes. Yes. You cannot you could only walk a cow between the hours of 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., from 9 a.m. to noon, and 1 p.m. to 4.
Well, who walks a cow?
I don't know. Here's an interesting one.
Okay.
You are allowed to beat your spouse for a month.
What? So,
Not for a month and a day, but you're allowed to beat your spouse for a month.
So, the police get a call, well, if they even exist,
Yes.
about abuse.
Yes.
And they get there and this guy goes, but the law says that.
Yeah, it's only been a week.
Do you really think the guy's not going to get arrested for...
Or the other way around. The girl's abusing the guy.
Yeah, either way.
Yes. Let's see here. Yeah. It is illegal for teachers in Arkansas to receive a raise if they bob their hair. Speaking of bob,
Bob,
do you know what bobbing your hair is?
is that when you do like this or something?
Yeah, no. If you're a teacher in Arkansas, you bob your hair, you're not getting a raise. How interesting is that? Interesting. It is illegal to yell at your children at a drive-in restaurant. It is illegal to yell at your children at a drive-in and Arkansas. That doesn't make any sense. It is illegal to yell at your children at a drive-in and Arkansas restaurant.
I feel like there's supposed to be two ins there.
Yeah. So you either can't yell at your children at a drive-in or at a drive-through Arkansas restaurant. One or the other. In Fayetteville, Arkansas, it is illegal to kill any living creature.
I'd get arrested there a lot.
Any living creature.
I've killed spiders, stink bugs.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a mosquito there.
Yeah. Can't kill a mosquito in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Who would have thunk?
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thunk? No one may suddenly stop or start their car in a McDonald's in Little Rock.
Okay.
Alrighty. Right them. Atheists are disqualified from ever holding office or testifying as witnesses.
That's racist.
So you get a guy on the stand, the first question the lawyer asks, you believe in God? No. Disqualified.
Racist.
Atheist.
That's what the left would say. That's probably racist.
Yeah. Yeah.
The far left would say that, at least.
If you have kids, cover your kids' ears. Oral sex is considered to be sodomy.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I'll let you look it up.
A sodomy?
Sodomy. Yeah, I'll let you look that one up.
We're going to look that up.
Yeah, you.
It's going to be in my Google search history.
Men are not allowed to ask a woman to dance during the month of July. So we're in July.
Oh, okay.
Now you know what sodomy is.
Okay. Not what I would have guessed, but okay.
Okay. Men are not allowed to ask women to dance during the month of July.
Oh, can't ask right now.
Yep. It is illegal to eat cheese on Friday unless it is accompanied by a large bottle of beer. What constitutes a large bottle of beer?
So, 24 ounces?
You know, I really want that pizza, but I don't want pizza and beer. What about root beer? Would root beer, birch beer? Yeah.
No, I think it's beer. So, does that make beer legal for under 21? Well, can someone under 21 just not eat cheese on a Friday?
Apparently not. You know, when I was growing up, usually Friday was pizza day in school. Oh. It's illegal to make bats and owls into burgers. I'd like to have a bat burger, please. Someone here would like an owl burger. Medium rare.
I want a burger.
It is illegal to call a child Zabratica.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. How am I supposed to?
All right, now another thing on my
Zabratica.
Zabradaka. I look it up and the first thing it says, what is the meaning of the word definition? Okay.
Those are stupid laws of Arkansas.
The fifth thing that came up was stupid laws, page 173. It is legal to call a child Zabradika.
Maybe for our next show, somebody could look up what the word Zabratica means for us.
Sure.
Also on our next show, we will have stupid laws of California.
Oh, there's probably plenty of there.
That's going to be bad. There's probably...
It is illegal to be a liberal.
Whoa, long show tonight. Almost an hour and a half.
No, it is an hour and a half.
Almost. We're 4 minutes shy of an hour and a half of talking.
Well, when you talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
Get our exit music.
It's ready.
All right.
It's already been ready.
All right. We're going to start the Friday tradition. We're going to do open Fridays where we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. But you guys didn't bring anything to the table last Friday. I was very disappointed.
I brought a drink to the table.
Our viewers.
No.
You're not a viewer. Do you go back and ever watch the show?
No.
No, I do.
I'm a viewer of watching you talk live. Does that count?
You're learning. Just think. Someday, after I'm long gone, you could have the non-genetically proven son and whatever your oldest son is called.
Bob.
The non-genetically proven son and Bob.
There's that Bob again.
Bob.
If you spell it backwards, it's still Bob.
Really? I would have never known that. Huh. You're one smart cookie.
Kaiser Weiser education and that state pen education.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, until Friday, have a great week. And remember, where we go one,
we go all.
We go all. See ya. Wouldn't wanna be ya.